for joining me again for another one of our podcasts. Today, I want to talk a little bit about e-commerce websites and getting your products noticed online. So I want to chat a little bit about that. First of all, tell you a little bit about our company if it's your first time joining us. DigiHype Media is a digital marketing company that deals specifically with online for small, medium-sized businesses and even large businesses. We're located in the Mississauga area, Ontario, and in the GTA, so the Greater Toronto area. Our market spans from the GTA to the U.S. To overseas. But we do have a physical location in Mississauga to deal with any local clients that might need that sort of support. We've been around for 5 years, and we've dealt with a lot of different types of businesses, from your typical retail sort of clients to professional businesses to electric repair companies, plumbing companies, you name it. We've done the gamut, legal professionals, and so on. But I guess what I want to talk a little bit about today specifically is the trend and the change over the last number of years, and increasingly more so over the last year, towards e-commerce business, doing business online, and the trend of sales and the growth of sales over the last number of years in online. So let's talk a little bit about that. So as far as e-commerce goes, there are a number of companies that we all recognize, the names we recognize, that do a massive amount of business online. Of course, the biggest one that comes to mind is Amazon. Amazon is a company that's been around for about 16 years now, and they started as a startup, and now they dominate the market. In fact, in the US right now, Amazon, as far as online sales, owns about 50% of the market share. That's 50% of all e-commerce sales that happen in the US happen on the Amazon platform, which is pretty incredible. So it goes to show the trend. In Canada, it's a little bit different. Canada right now, or I should say a few years ago, over the last few years, back in 2013 to now, the change has been about 4 or 5%. Only about 3% of business was done online in Canada back in 2012, 2013. That's up to about 9% now, predicted to go to about 10. I'm guessing by next year it'll probably be around 12% or so. The critics say, the projections say 10 or 11%. So there is going to be an increase in Canada, but of course, a lot of our products that are being purchased from Canada online are being purchased overseas and in the U.S. So I think a lot of that has some opportunity on the Canadian end for us to benefit from retailers and so on to benefit from. I wanted to talk a little bit about your businesses, and if you run a retail type business, or if you're looking at venturing into the e-commerce sort of fray, there's a lot of variables you need to look at. I've met a lot of business owners over the years who, and over the last few years recently, who are trying to make, and in some cases it can be a bit painful for some retailers and some businesses to make that transformation digitally. In fact, a lot of large companies we've seen over the last number of years have had to make that transformation. Companies that have been around for many, many years have to make that digital transformation. Now, the reality is that in a lot of cases, when you see the tremendous growth online and e-commerce sales online, I mean, the reality is many of the businesses that we're used to, storefronts and so on, some of the big stores as well, that we've over the years been used to going into and shopping on a Saturday or during the week in the evenings or on a Sunday, walking around the mall, that is all transforming. In fact, I read an interesting stat earlier on today that currently, and this is kind of a funny stat, 43% of e-commerce purchases are done while the purchaser is still sitting in bed. So it's a pretty incredible thing to think that it's that easy to be able to purchase products and services online when almost half of the people buying them are probably sitting in their bed at home, getting up on a Saturday morning deciding, you know what, I'm going to buy that new bicycle, or I'm going to buy that new, barbecue. And it becomes second nature almost. So it's pretty incredible to see that transformation and that shift in the marketplace. But let's talk about yourself, and let's talk about your business and potentially some of the things that you may want to look at if you are a bricks and mortar type business that's looking at making that transformation or that change into an e-commerce type store, an e-commerce platform. So they really, first of all, you need to look at the types of products that you sell. Is it something that's going to be relevant? I would do some searches online to see what sort of activity there is in that area of the market. Is there some growth there? Are there potential people? Are there ads on, the big search engines where they're advertising your type of product or service? If you're seeing a lot more activity, or if that activity is growing, then it's an area that's likely growing. So it's something you need to consider. But there's really three questions, and that's part of the three questions, but there's really three questions I would say that you should probably ask yourself if you operate a retail type business where you have a storefront and you're making a change or you want to make a change and you're unsure. So you might want to ask yourself these two questions. One is has your business dropped off over the last few months or year or two? Has it dropped off significantly? Is it significant enough that you're feeling it, that it's really affected, your profitability, your cash flow, and all those different things? So that's the first thing you want to ask. Has that happened over the last year or so? Have you seen a significant drop in foot traffic? People that were typically your customers that were walking in the store that would buy from time to time, or maybe even just generic traffic that comes to your store to browse. Has that changed? Are your retail store selling, women's clothing or, men's hats or whatever it might be, shoes? If that's changed dramatically, then you may want to, consider that may be something you might want to look at as an e-commerce type store. And as I mentioned previously too, one of the things you might want to do is do a search online on any of the big search engines to see if you're seeing businesses in your type of vertical, in your line of work, that are now offering products online for sale that people can go in there and shop. So, in my very humble opinion, if you can answer yes to any of those questions, and they're very simple questions, let's face it, if you can answer yes to any of those, then right now you need to get involved in looking at the potential of moving your store online. And it's not as difficult as you think. The beginning of any story is always a little bit difficult, but certainly to be able to actually go from a non-digital platform of selling products to going fully digital online is actually not a difficult process at all if you're with the right company and you have the right support. So just another interesting stat that it's anticipated by over the next 15 to 20 years that 95% of all purchases will be made online. Now, this is all purchases. What does that mean? I mean, we talked a little while ago about the fact that Canada is only at, currently right now, at about 9% of revenues for online sales. 9%. Okay, so that's 91% of opportunity that's available to businesses to sell online in Canada. So that's significant. But of course that market is going to grow and that gap is going to close and that percentage is going to grow. So you need to ask yourself, do you want to be part of that? Because in reality, if you don't have that sort of a presence and you have a product that's viable, that clients want to, or potential customers want to buy online, then certainly you're going to miss the boat if you don't make that transition, or at least investigate making that transition. The U.S. Department of Commerce estimates consumers spend $513.6 billion in 2018. That's huge, and that's up about 14% from the year before. And those percentages tend to not only grow, but they grow significantly year over year, and we've seen that over the last 5 years with online sales. So it is a marketplace in the U.S. that is quite large, continues to grow. I mean, there's 400 plus million people in the U.S. As I mentioned before, a lot of Canadians are buying products online through the U.S. or in the U.S. or through American companies. There's a lot of opportunity in Canada to be able to be part of that. So that's something I really, really stress. As far as Amazon goes, we talked about it before, but I mean, they generated over $258.2 billion in U.S. retail sales, which is up for them about 29%. year over year. So significant numbers for some of the big players in the marketplace, but certainly what this tells me as a marketing person is that there's a lot of opportunity in the marketplace for unique products, unique services, people that are, close to being first in line to getting online and trying to sell your products online, regardless of what it might be, whether it be ladies' clothing, sporting equipment, homemade quilts. It doesn't really matter. I mean, there's such a huge marketplace of people that are looking at this product, and the marketplace is growing. And it's kind of significant because, even when you look at, we tell a lot of clients that do work with us, and we run ads for them on social media and on Google and so on. We talk to our clients about the fact that, listen, you know what, even the social media market has changed. You have Facebook with a much older audience now that's using Facebook, that's actually doing business on Facebook. They're communicating, they're sharing, they're buying products because of their online presence. And those people might be, 50 years and older, where you have a big marketplace. So you have products that can be sold on that platform, right, through your e-commerce facility, right? And then you have, facilities like Instagram or platforms like Instagram and so on that have a younger crowd, where there's a lot of advertising going on there, done through e-commerce sites, but certainly utilize both of those as a common connection. As far as online sales in general, the younger group of folks from, say, 18 years old to 30 is a tremendously huge market right now. I talked about the fact that, we have, 43% of people making a purchase from their bed online. It's that simple to do. Well, a lot of the younger crowd is doing that because they're tech savvy, they can go online. But the beauty is that even folks like me, a little bit older, but certainly, again, as savvy on a cell phone or on my computer. And of course, mobile technology today is so easy to use and so powerful, just like a regular laptop or a desktop computer. You're able to go online and buy either through an app or just straight online, just as easily as walking into a store. The difference is you're not spending $1 on gas. You're not taking any time to go out there and come back, and someone's actually dropping it to your doorstep. So there's some huge benefits to your clients finding you online and going beyond that and being able to purchase your services online. And again, there's a myriad of different products and services that can be offered, and many of them that still aren't offered online in a proper way. Now, there's a lot of different platforms you can use that we even utilize for e-commerce. One is, of course, WooCommerce, which is very, very popular and growing in popularity. It's a platform that we've worked on many times, and it's for our developers, it's probably one of the easiest platforms to work with. But we also work and build e-com sites and online shopping sites through Shopify and so on, because it's designed specifically for that. Tends to be for more higher volume, a larger scale of products, easier to scale. And of course, we have the flexibility with that platform. It's a pre-built platform, and we can just sort of plug in, alter, change, adjust, make it as customized as we want to do. So on both sides, we can certainly do customize the platform to, for the look and feel that you're looking for. But certainly, it is something that is available, that we make available to our clients. We do all our building in-house, of course. We don't send anything out. That's kind of one of our the benefits that our clients can look forward to, is the fact that we don't farm any of our work out, and our professional developers can do the work themselves in our office here in Mississauga. So that's a little bit about e-commerce. Like I said, it's an area of business that's not going away. If you're in a situation where you have been in business for some time and you've seen a change in your market and a shift in the way your people buy, and maybe even a significant drop in your business, is something you want to look into and consider. There's a lot of information online about e-commerce. There's a lot of information online about the different types of platforms that are available to you. You can invest a lot of money, a lot of dollars into a platform if you so choose. And conversely, you can do the opposite. Certainly for your business, you want to make a responsible decision on building the right platform that makes sense for you, customize it to your needs. And even if you're maybe small and you have a handful of products today, 20, 30, 40 products today that you want to sell online, and you want to try that route first, then certainly we can help you with that, and we can scale it as large or as high a volume as you want. With different ways of paying and stuff like that. And so, there's a lot of opportunities for you, so don't get too bogged down on it. Like I said, do some research. You're welcome to visit our website online at digihypemedia.ca. If you're local here, you can certainly contact us at our office at 905-901-3185. And we'd be more than happy to walk you through the process, give you as much advice as you need to be able to make an informed decision. And we'd love to work with you if you do have any questions. So feel free to visit us again at digihypemedia.ca, digihype media.ca. Again, I'm Clint Thompson, and I look forward to hearing from you. All the best, and best of luck online.